Hi, my name is Lingyuan. In this video, I will present our paper, We Cried on Each Other's Shoulders, How LGBTQ individuals experience social support in social virtual reality, on behalf of my co-authors, Dr. Freeman, Kelsea Schulenberg, and Dane Acena. Many LGBTQ individuals often lack offline social networks to discover, understand, and support gender and sexual exploration. Therefore, various online social spaces play an increasingly important role in supporting LGBTQ individuals' identity formation and presentation, community building, and information seeking, including live streaming platforms, social media, and multiplayer online games. However, traditional online technologies still reveal several challenges for providing LGBTQ individuals with effective social support. First, most online social spaces still rely on traditional computer-mediated communication for LGBTQ individuals to exchange and share social support, which is not seen as a viable venue for the provision of social support due to limited emotional and social cues, the inability to communicate material support, and the absence of physical presence. Second, social support for LGBTQ individuals through traditional online technologies can still be felt far less satisfactory and effective compared to tangible offline support, as how much social support one feels is closely related to the medium through which one receives such support. Therefore, we focus on LGBTQ individuals' experiences of social support in one nuanced online social space, social virtual reality. Social VR platforms offer users a more immersive space for interaction and allow them to interact via synchronous voice, embodied avatars through full body tracking, and a more customized self-presentation through their virtual avatars. These unique features of social VR seem to attract a growing number of LGBTQ users. In hopes of capturing a more comprehensive image of LGBTQ users' unique engagement in social VR and designing more inclusive and supportive social VR spaces in the future, in this paper, we focus on investigating, first, the types of social support LGBTQ users have experienced in social VR, and second, novel ways in which social VR fosters such social support for LGBTQ users. We conducted in-depth semi-structured interviews with 29 social VR users who self-identify as LGBTQ+. We then analyzed our interview data qualitatively by using thematic analysis. First, we summarized the four main types of social support LGBTQ+ users experience in social VR. LGBTQ individuals are able to experience network and emotional support by getting to know each other and building social bonds with others in social VR. They also see social VR as a valuable venue to exchange important information and life lessons regarding how to better approach and manage their LGBTQ identities, both online and offline. Our LGBTQ participants also gradually build self-confidence and achieve self-improvement by using social VR as a sandbox to experiment, share, and affirm diverse facets of their identities and lived experience with others, especially in a way that they would otherwise not be able to do offline or in other traditional online spaces. They especially highlight how they leverage technological uniqueness of social VR to seek and share these four types of social support. The broad spectrum of both verbal and nonverbal communication modalities in social VR enhance the level of joint involvement and user connectedness in the same space, creating a strong awareness of co-presence similar to face-to-face interaction despite being online. In this way, this unique sense of co-presence can directly facilitate LGBTQ users' experience of network, emotional, and informational support in social VR. Unlike traditional social media applications sites or online gaming's virtual worlds, where users control their on-screen avatars through a keyboard, mouse, or joystick, LGBTQ individuals can share their emotions and feelings through real-time simulated physical actions in social VR. To them, this novelty becomes a more realistic and embodied way to demonstrate, exchange, and experience their support for each other, especially network support and emotional support. And by hosting and attending highly simulated mundane events, LGBTQ+ social VR users are able to seek network support and getting informational support by finding each other, building a sense of community, and fostering emotional bonds in a natural and immersive way similar to attending equivalent offline events, but with reduced limitations and lower risks. And through these immersive events, it is also possible to establish a supportive and accepting culture for LGBTQ+ in social VR. As a result, LGBTQ+ users may experience esteem support by achieving an affirmation of their self-worth and self-perceptions of their identities. Our findings highlight social VR introduces new mechanisms to empower LGBTQ+ individuals and help address challenges and limitations of traditional technology-mediated social support for LGBTQ+ individuals. Collectively, understanding these new mechanisms emphasizes such support as a combination of, first, a more physicalized and embodied nature, and second, a natural and direct translation to tangible offline support, and third, a particular focus on fostering safe, comfortable, and non-judgmental offline culture. We are also well aware of new concerns embedded in this seemingly overly positive image that require further reflection and investigation. First, there is a growing concern that the very features that help LGBTQ+ users experience more natural, embodied, and realistic social support in social VR can also lead to harassment that feels more realistic compared to other online social platforms. And second, the socio-economic barrier may leave many LGBTQ+ users behind, especially those with intersectional identities. It seems certain types of LGBTQ+ users, who often tend to be white, financially stable, and educated, seem to be able to seek and experience social support more so than others. We especially propose two equally important principles at the high level for rethinking more supportive and inclusive social VR design. First, we emphasize the necessity to establish appropriate social norms and expectations about the spectrum of gender and sexuality identities and expressions in future social VR spaces, and to educate all social VR users to shape a diverse, dynamic, and inclusive social atmosphere. The second principle points to specific designs to promote mutual respect, to express in-depth feelings or more complicated emotions for all users, and to further facilitate online and offline support transformation. Thank you for watching. We want to thank our participants and the National Science Foundation for supporting this research.